Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm with my daughter Kaylee, and she's a 9, and we've got a video planned for you that is about like some of the most famous sayings that, what do you call these? These famous sayings
Little quotes, little things you might find in Home Goods or something, different quotes for each type.
Yeah, stuff your grandma says, stuff your mom told you when you were growing up, or your grandma told you when you were growing up. And we just ran across it on Pinterest,
Yeah.
and we thought we'd just talk about it. So let's start with the one. There's 4 for each of them, so let's just talk about it.
The one is a place for everything and everything in its place.
Yeah.
A job worth doing is a job worth doing well.
Mm-hmm.
Honesty is the best policy, and practice makes perfect.
Yeah. So very sensible, very responsible. And as a 7, I think I can sense there's part of me that agrees with those things.
Yeah, and I'm a 9 wing 1, and so I feel like when I'm like under stress, I'm like, yes, this is definitely resort to this a little bit more than on like a normal day.
Yeah.
Sounds like my piano teacher. Sounds like
Yeah.
policeman.
Yeah, I think under stress, definitely.
All right, the 2.
A job worth doing is worth doing well. Because I think, part of being a 7 is that you get, I think 7s and 9s have it in common that we would like to take the easiest route. And sometimes the easiest route can end up more work in the long run.
Yeah. and you need the 1 to remind you honesty is the best policy, and job worth doing is job worth doing well.
Yeah. Okay, what about the 2?
The 2 is home is where the heart is. Mm-hmm. Love conquers all. Don't bite the hand that feeds you. And a friend in need is a friend indeed.
Yeah. So good. They're all about taking care of people. And now that one about the don't bite the hand that feeds you, it's a little passive aggressive, isn't it?
Speaking of passive aggressive.
Yeah.
I knew a 2 once, and they were pretty passive aggressive. I would have known that if I would have just called more often.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah. Yeah, you saw that somewhere. It said, "Hey, I'm a little passive aggressive," and you would have known that, but you don't call me.
Yeah.
Wait, let's take a little time on this. Home is where the heart is. Okay, I think we've all heard that.
Yeah, and a friend in need is a friend indeed. That isn't something I think a 9 or even a 7 would relate to that much as like, oh,
yeah,
we're friends. You need stuff from me.
I would have I think all 7s would have a tendency to like avoid clingy people. Like if you need me, then I don't want to. And I think 9s have that in common.
I'm like, you need me to meet you there? If you come to me, sure, I guess we're gonna be friends. But you need me to like, oh goodness, like I don't want to see you. Okay, whatever, it's fine.
Yeah. Now, if I'm in need, then I want people to help me. But I think my natural tendency as a 7 is, you need help. Why don't you call the 1? Why don't you call the 2, and we'll get them to help you. But obviously, that's something I need to work on. Okay, so what about the 3?
The 3, all the world's a stage.
Okay.
Winners never quit and quitters never win. Like your gym coach told you back in elementary school.
Yeah. If you're going to get the gold medal, you got to show up early and stay late and work hard.
Oh my. If at first you don't succeed, try again. And appearances can be deceiving.
Yeah. And I think I've found that to be true with 3s that I know. Is I guess I kind of, would like to simplify the Enneagram down to the point that every 3, is a bodybuilder or a Barbie doll. But the reality is sometimes they're very 3 in getting their work done. They're like the 3-4, the professional, and they may not necessarily, be the most fit, the most active, the most beautiful, the most Botox kind of person. Like, I mean, that's a very shallow understanding of a 3, and I think I've had to learn that I kind of expected Ken and Barbie, but not every 3 is like that.
Yeah, and when you're trying to be the best at something, it takes away from a lot of other things. One yes is a million no's. So if you're going to be the best at fitness, then you're not necessarily the best at work. And if you're the best at work, you might not be the best at fitness.
Right. It just kind of depends on what they decide they're going to. It's like the 1. The 1 can't do everything perfect. So they might neglect their family to to invest in their work, or they might neglect their work to invest in their church. And I think the same thing kind of rings true with threes is if you're going to be the most superb, the most admirable employee, then you might end up letting your health go in the process. So I like that. There's one of those that I felt like winners never quit, all the world's a stage. I think sevens would agree with them, that kind of all the world's a stage. But I think the three, it's a stage like to prove themselves. And with the seven, it's like a stage to entertain other people.
I think the 4 might agree too, but more as like a gallery. Like, the world is my gallery. Come look at this art that I am.
Okay. But we're going to read the 4. What quotes are for the 4?
I really did like the 4 quotes. They're, so the first one is, there is method to the madness. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Better to have loved and lost than to have never loved at all.
Okay.
And stop and smell the roses.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Good.
So I think they, besides maybe the 6, I think that they might have the most dramatic quote in there. It's better to have loved and lost than to have never loved at all.
Yeah. The hopeless romantic.
Yeah.
And a method to the madness, I think that makes a lot of sense with some of the 4s I know, is that sometimes, even like the way they dress, might look a little disjointed, but, it's an expression of how they're feeling that day, or it's an expression of their uniqueness.
If you were to ask them to explain, if you
Right.
were to ask them, there would be an explanation. It's not just senseless.
Or the stuff they have on their walls in their house, it may look like those things don't go together. And they're like, yeah, exactly. But they do in this other way that you don't understand.
Yeah. I got them all when I was on vacation one place. Somehow it matches. Okay.
Yeah. Now, when you think about some of the 4s that you know and are close to, do any of those seem to fit?
I think I've heard some of these from the mouths of some of the 4s that I have been and I am close to. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I've heard that a million times.
Okay.
It's like when I walk through and some of my friends start teasing me, then the 4 is like, no. I'm like, okay, I think it's a joke. It's okay. But they're like, stop it.
Yeah.
Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. I'm like, I know. It's okay. Thank you. I appreciate it.
4s are kind of into like non-traditional beauty. Let's call it that. Non-traditional beauty. That's what I am. See, non-traditional beauty. You're traditional beauty. I'm non-traditional beauty. So
Don't want to cause any uproars.
yeah. Okay. What about the
5?
The 5. Yeah. Good old 5.
Fences make good neighbors.
Boom. You don't need to say anything else. Good fences make good. Now 9s can appreciate that, can't you? Don't you kind of share that same sentiment a little bit?
I would be fine sharing a fence with a 5. We have a nice.
Yeah.
Be a neighbor to a 5.
Because neither one of you wants to be intruded on.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So good fences make good neighbors.
A little learning is a dangerous thing. Knowledge is power, and silence is golden. I think Harrison, he's been in a few videos. Harrison, my brother, we were talking about this, and he perked up when we were talking about the 5. And when it got to silence is golden, I just kind of thought, if you agree with this, how much are you not saying? Because he says a lot. I don't know. Anyway, but
no, I think maybe he wants us to be silent.
yeah, I think that could very well be the case.
Again, they don't want to be intruded on, and so I know a 5 or 2 that's really quiet around crowds. I'm sure when they get home, they're not. But I think around crowds, I think a lot of 5s clam up, and when they have to go ask for something, they clam up, or go talk to strangers. But probably they wish we would clam up around them and not bother them, and not ask them to do things. Invite. All right, go with the 6. What do you got for the 6?
The 6, better safe than sorry. Yep. Doubt is the beginning, not the end of wisdom. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong.
Murphy's Law.
And nothing is certain but death and taxes.
Okay. All very famous quotes, and very kind of pessimistic, aren't they?
Well, I'm a 9 and I go to 6 in stress.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And I have a wing 6, so I can identify with those.
How do you relate to that?
Yeah, well, I think the first one, better safe than safe than sorry. Yeah, I can definitely sense that, because my impulses as a 7 is to go and do and run and rip, but then I quickly have this, whoa, put your helmet on, you sure you want to do this? You might get into trouble. You might get, and so I've got that wing there. That's good. I mean, it's healthy because it slows you down a little bit and makes you stop and think. And my mom was a 6, so when we grew up as kids, I mean, every time we'd do anything, she'd say, now stop and think. And she'd say, now, but the bad side is, and those were just common before she'd talk, now the bad side is, or stop and think now before you. So I got that wing, and I'm glad I do.
I think the one I relate to most out of that is anything that can go wrong will go wrong if I'm relating to any of them. Because I think when I go to 6, it's like, if I'm going to be anxious, I'm going to be anxious. If I'm not going to be comfortable, I'm not going to be comfortable. It's either going to be good or it's going to be bad. I will try to ignore it, and if I can't, well, then it's just, I'm going to have to get up and I'm going to have to be worried about this until it's solved. All right.
Yeah, I don't think I have so much that anything can go wrong, will go wrong, but I do have the better safe than sorry, a little bit. I don't think nearly to the level a 6 does. Like, I'm not going to get near as prepared. I'm going to go off and forget to pack it, and oops, it'll work out, But I think in my 7-ness, I feel that 6, like, caution in me.
Yeah. And as a comparison, the 6 versus the 7. So the 7 is don't cry over spilled milk.
Yeah. Well, it's over, so forget it. Move on. Let it go.
Variety is the spice of life.
Yeah, try it all. But as a 6, not all. Not at all. Don't try it all. But, I mean, if you're going to go... Okay. So you go to a candy store, right? And they've got, like, all those different flavors of whatever it is. How do you pick one? I mean, you go into like a gas station, they got 17 different Slurpees. Or the worse, the frozen yogurt, and they give you one sample cup. Come on.
I think I've seen that.
Yeah.
The ads over there.
I'll use the one
squeezing the sample cup.
One sample cup 4 times, 7 times. Because my preference would be, I just want one sample of all 12 flavors. I don't want a bowl of something. I would rather have, one sample cup of all 12 flavors. That's variety is the spice of life. Because how are you going to know which one's the best? How are you going to know which one you like unless you try them all? Makes complete sense.
Makes sense.
To a 7.
It makes sense. I don't need it for myself. I will try it.
So you can just read a label and say bubblegum flavor. That's what I want. The rest, don't even try them.
It will be like...
Mint chocolate chip, don't try it.
Well, my thing is, I'm usually like, mint chocolate chip's my favorite. Where's the mint chocolate chip? If they don't have that, well then...
But why is it your favorite? Because you haven't tasted the other ones.
Probably.
What if the peanut butter chocolate one's your favorite one, but you just don't know it yet because you haven't tasted it? See the problem?
I see it.
Okay.
Don't feel it. I see it.
Right.
It's valid.
Good.
It's more than
you understand
than some of the other.
You understand it, but it's not your struggle.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. And the last one.
No, eat, drink.
Yeah, eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we die. Leave off the last part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and a lot of 7s have that kind of, especially the 7-8. I think they kind of push the throttle a little harder than the 7-6. The 7-6 is called the entertainer, and the 7-8 is the realist. And so they're just gonna get real. But that.
Well, it's like they're gonna be real with what they want. It's like, yeah. I will be real to myself. And myself says Universal Pass, Disney Pass.
Yeah.
And chocolate chip cookies.
And maybe a little bit more blunt with people. Yeah, to get what they want, which is a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
So eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we die. So again, it's like focus on right now. And that's the danger of 7s is you end up the prodigal son because you're just focused on right now. Mm-hmm. Okay.
The last one is, this is a good one. Every cloud has its silver lining.
Yeah.
Yeah, why we love our 7s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
7s are good at reframing. and taking a bad situation and then in 2 days say, oh, well, that worked out for the best. It's okay. It's all good. Lord, work it out.
Lord, work it out.
Actually, that's a 9 thing. The Lord will work it out. Okay.
Yeah.
And then a 7 looks back in the past and says, oh, the Lord worked it all out. It's fine. I got fired. I got canned, but it's probably for the best. It was a good thing. I needed to come down in.
I wanted to quit anyway.
I was going to quit anyway.
This way I got 2 weeks pay.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I got severance pay. So see, 7s like to move on and it's all going to be all right, which can be a good thing as long as you don't ignore reality and learn from it.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
The 8s.
Boom,
Goodness.
Punch.
He that is not with me is against me.
Against me.
Against.
Yeah.
Might makes right. Compare that to the 1.
I am not a 7-8.
Yeah. I'm not a 9-8. These are good things. We need people like this.
Yeah.
To stick up for us little guys.
Yeah.
A chain is only as strong as its weakest link.
You are the weakest link.
I usually am the weakest link.
Yeah.
I'm still got picked last for soccer games. Okay. When the going gets tough, the tough get going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny, both of us have this as a wing. So we share this, but we both share it really, really faintly, don't we?
Yeah. We're like, so close.
Yeah.
So close. But I think this was one of the 8 and the 1, they are in the doing group with the 9, but the 8 and the 1 are the only ones that have talked about really what it looks like with this saying. So the 8, you actually have to do something with this. The tough get going, or you might make a conclusion based on this saying. And the 1, it encourages you to make some type of decision about what you should do based on what's being said. Not just like, oh, we should treat people nicely, or we see people all the same, and maybe give me my space, as much as this is like, let's do something good.
Was that one when the going gets tough on there? The tough
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's kind of characteristic of 8s is quit talking, let's do it. It's quit talking, let's take some action. And I think that's why a lot of them end up as leaders, because they're willing to just take action, for good or for bad. They're not going to sit and think about it a lot. They're just going to go. And with their instincts, they feel like it's right, so let's go. Or they feel like this is, what needs to happen, and so they take action. And, they're very much, don't betray me, don't turn your back on me. And if you're not with me, then why are you here? If you're not with me, then why am I having this conversation with you? You get back on the outside of the fort and leave us alone,
Yeah. They do anything to protect their own.
Yeah.
And then the 9.
The lovely 9.
It's so different than the 8, but it's so similar to everything. Okay, anyways. Live and let live.
Okay.
When in Rome, do as the Romans do.
Okay.
Let bygones be bygones. And all for one and one for all.
Yeah, just compare that 1 for all with if you're not with me or against me.
I don't feel that.
Yeah.
I
mean, you feel the 1 for all and all for one.
Oh, yeah. I have, the revenge. What does that mean? I don't understand.
Yeah.
No, all for one, one for all. Bygones be bygones.
Why take revenge when you can ignore?
I shouldn't have cared about it in the first place. You reminded me that my hopes were up here when they should have been non-existent.
Yeah.
Why did I? Gosh. Why did I?
All right, what about that one, the second one? Read that one again.
When in Rome, do as the Romans do.
Tell me about that a little bit. How that affects you.
So, yeah, I think this one is probably what gives 9s one of their biggest character traits, is summed up in this, that every opinion has value, every action. I can kind of see where you're coming from with that. The issue is not just what is good and what is bad. Similar to a 7 trying everything, the 9 might try everything if encouraged, which is good and bad. Mm-hmm. So when in Rome, do as the Romans do. If I hang around a 7, I might look like a 7 because I'm just...
Or become like the 7's companion.
Yeah.
And when you're with an 8's companion.
Minion.
You kind of morph or merge. Not just you, 8 or 9s.
Yeah.
Which is one of the things we love about 9s is they're good at complimenting, not like giving you compliments.
Not like too flattery.
But being a complimentary person.
Vanilla.
Yes. So you said this before, that if you had strawberry ice cream and vanilla ice cream, or chocolate ice cream and vanilla ice cream, and you stirred them together, and then you let somebody taste it, they would say that it was strawberry ice cream, or they would say it's chocolate ice cream. They can lose the vanilla's in there, but you can kind of it gets overpowered and dominated and kind of loses its distinctiveness because it merges, and the vanilla always is going to get sort of overshadowed. I think that kind of happens with 9s.
Yeah. So I'd say 9s aren't necessarily stubborn on day-to-day things as much as they are overall. So they're like, I don't ever do crazy stuff. Does crazy stuff every day because they're around people that encourage them to. They're like, I'm not going to break the law, but you want me to go
walk across that bridge. You're not supposed to.
Okay, sure. And so 9s, I think, can get themselves in trouble doing that if they let it go too far, or especially if they haven't developed their wings very well.
Yeah.
But
because you can see where if you're a 9 and you develop those strong 1 or a strong 8 wing, it'll help keep you out of some of that. Because an 8 and 1 are both very much in tune with what they want, and they're not afraid to vocalize that. And that's something the 9 needs to pick up.
Yeah.
Being able to do that.
And I think 9s can get lost in the when in Rome, do as Romans do. But the Sleeping at Last, they did all the Enneagram songs. They have another song that's for the body types, the heart types, and the head types. And the body song, part of it says, like, we have magic in our bones, and it's our intuition that leads us. And 9s are guided by the same guidance system as 8s and 1s. And so I think a lot of times you can kind of think that maybe 9s don't have an opinion, or that they don't really care. But I think from personal experience and with other 9s that I know, they do really care, but then they're like, I kind of care what you care about more for right now.
For now.
Yeah.
Then you get home and you're like,
why did I do that?
Why did I even do that? Right. Why'd you even do this video? Because I asked you to.
No, because Jay wanted to see it.
Yeah, our good friend Jay.
Yeah.
You're going to see him in one of these videos later. His turn's coming. He's a 9 too, so it's just a matter of keep pushing him, and eventually he'll get in and say, yeah, he'll do it. Yeah. All right, guys, as always, like, comment, and subscribe. We're glad you're on this journey with us. I hope some of this was helpful and insightful to you. We're just always presenting new ways to learn more and more about ourselves so we can be more compassionate with ourselves, more compassionate with others, and more present to life. All right, we'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.